No, no pictures. Please, no, no pictures, no. No pictures. I do not wish to make a statement. I don't see why all you newspaper people insist on playing up such a minor incident. Well, yes, I've been away from home for a few days, but that's no reason for you to fabricate the sensational story of my disappearance. I've just read about it on the train. Oh, I may be a writer of mysteries, but I'm also private citizen Agatha Christie. I consider these questions an infringement on my privacy. Now, if you'll excuse me, please, I'd like to get out of this drafty railway station and get on. Very well, what is it you want of me? The facts? Well, the fact is I've spent the last 9 days at the Hydro Hotel at Harrogate. Alone. Obviously, my husband was not with me. He did? My husband offered a £500 reward for news of my whereabouts? As if I were a valuable Pekingese. No, I was not writing, I was reading. Well, if you must know, it was Freud, Sigmund Freud. Oh, incredible theories about abnormal behavior in the human mind. Naturally, as a writer of mysteries, I find this almost enlightening. But you know, most recently he was asked to what the healthy individual should devote himself. He said, Leben und Arbeiten, to love and to work. Well, I'd hardly call that changing the subject. Didn't you just ask me? My good fellow, are you suggesting that my little retreat was what you call a publicity stunt? Ah, I've absolutely no need for publicity. Why, the name Agatha Christie is splashed all over the bookstores. This season alone there are my novel, 2 whodunits, and a collection of short stories. Can you really visualize me, a woman of retiring disposition, with an intense dislike of public notice, deliberately making myself the center of a cause célèbre? Well now, if you have no further solutions to offer than that this was a publicity stunt, I suggest you put away those notepads and keep silent. Good day. Now that they're out of earshot, I'll let you in on my newest little mystery. Just 9 days ago, on December 4th, 1922, I left my home at 2:15 p.m. for just a few hours. My good husband, Colonel Archibald Christie, had apparently at some previous time formed a, how shall I say it, liaison with one Miss Neal. That particular afternoon, during my absence, my husband packed his bags and left our house for her house. When I returned home at 4:45, my secretary informed me of my husband's actions. By 7:10, a plot emerged. At 9 o'clock, I went around for the car, which I'd only recently learned to handle, put in this case, and drove off. I decided my husband needed something to occupy his mind. The next thing anyone knew, my car was found toppled over an embankment at Newlands Corner. That is when this astonishing outpouring of news stories began. Everyone offered solutions. The chemist said, suicide. Well, naturally, I had discussed various suicide methods with him for my books. Murder. was suggested each time some feminine trinket was found near the ruined car. And my good husband controlled his grief long enough to note that I'd once said I could disappear at will and defy anyone to find me. Truth of the matter is, I did it to show my husband I would not tolerate his behavior. The ploy seems to have been most successful. Naturally, he had to leave Miss Neal immediately and return home to join in the search for me. You know, this fellow Freud has a fascinating concept: to devote one's life to one's work and one's love. Oh, I take great satisfaction in my work. And now I intend to find the same satisfaction in love. After all, this greatest intellect of the century said it is possible to combine the two. Though, come to think of it, Freud never said it was easy. And it's not. But Agatha Christie wasn't about to put up with this kind of hanky-panky. So she divorced her husband, and within 2 years she met and married an archaeologist who filled the rest of her life with the love she sought. Oh, naturally she kept on writing, and later Dame Agatha Christie became the best-selling writer of detective stories the world has ever known. But if a woman wants a love life, and a work life, and a family life as well, she might question whether Freud had her in mind at all. Well, take for instance Clara Schumann. Even before her marriage to composer Robert Schumann, Clara was an accomplished pianist. She'd been celebrated in the major capitals of Europe from the time she was 9 years old. So when she and Robert fell in love and married in 1840, she saw no reason why her career should be interrupted. Julie! Julie! Your turn at the piano! Eugenie, you and Felix help Mama, yeah? Set the table, please. No, just the family. Elise, watch the baby. Look, he's crawling to the table. The tablecloth, take him. Whew, almost pulled it down. Put him in the carriage, rock him, maybe he'll sleep. What, Felix? Of course, the good Silver. Yeah, but a wedding anniversary is a most special occasion. Julie, and 1 and 2 and... Look at the time signature. Can't you count to 4? All right. And 1 and 2 and Felix. The fork goes to the left of the plate. Marie! You did not look where you were going. How could you be such a... Go get the broom and the dustpan. Why should you cry? I should cry. That cup was Rosenthal china. Julie, that should be pianissimo. Pianissimo. Shh. Soft. The doorbell? Are you sure? Yeah, all right, children, quiet. Not you, Julie, you play, but pianissimo. Johannes! Yeah, Herr Brahms is here. Oh, I'm always happy to see you, dear boy. Please come in. There have been so many crises today. The children, the dinner, my hair. But where's your music? No new compositions to discuss.
today you bring flowers. Oh, how lovely. Thank you. Eugenie, bring the blue vase, please. Yeah, with water in it. Please come into the sitting room. Robert will be home any minute. No, our 13th anniversary. Yeah, hard to believe. Please sit down. Thank you, Eugenie. Don't forget to curtsy to Herr Brahms. Yeah, now go help Felix set the table. No, that's Julie playing the piano. Oh, our most robust, as well as our least talented. But Robert insists that all the children learn to play. And still in the whole day I cannot find 1 hour for my own practice. Not when Robert is composing. No, he must have absolute silence. Why do you suppose Papa fought this marriage? Since I was 4 years old, he groomed me for the concert stage. He always said, these hands are for the piano, not working in the house. When? Oh, it will be months before I can go back to touring. I'm so out of practice, so unprepared. Thank you, dear boy. But I know, when I sit down to play, I can hear it. It terrifies me. Give it up. Concertizing? And on what would we subsist? The pittance they give Robert for his compositions. You know how little he's paid. Pennies. Poor Liebchen. Must be humiliating for him to know how worthy is his work and still to go unrecognized. You know where he is now? The concert hall. Yeah. What is it, Felix? Oh, all right. Julie! That's enough for today, dear. Now let Felix have his turn. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, the concert hall, yeah. Mendelssohn is leaving. Yeah. And Robert is hoping to get his job as regular conductor. No, it doesn't pay much, but you can do that tomorrow. But at least it would be steady. Because Mama said so. Don't laugh. It's all very well for Robert to say, children are a blessing. One cannot have too many. Already we've been blessed 8 times. It does not interfere with his work when they need to be fed or changed or help with lessons or... I cannot talk this way to Robert. I've tried. He has a very sensitive nature. I must always put on a smiling face. His melancholia, you know. Yeah, but sometimes I think he's depressed because he suffers so. Has he never told you? He hears terrible sounds. Yeah, very, very loud sounds. It's a wonder he can compose at all. Still, some of his most beautiful lieder were born of that suffering. Yeah, Felix, yeah, that one. Practice the one you're going to play tonight for Papa. Robert loves celebrations. To be surrounded by his family. You know, if he had his way, Children, Papa is home. Oh, Robert, how did it go today? Yeah? Well, when will you know? Yeah, just to congratulate us. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to offer wine. Here it sits on the table right in front of me. Robert, I was just telling Johannes, if you had your way, we would all go on tour together. The last place, I don't remember. Where was it, Robert? Yeah, St. Petersburg. Oh, presented to the Tsar, applauded by their imperial majesties, rooms filled with flowers, banquets with champagne, glasses thrown against the wall. And I shout at Marie when she accidentally breaks one cup. But what more beautiful anniversary can one have than to be surrounded by loved ones? For me, Robert, more music. Thank you. Your sonata. Yeah, children, yeah, the sonata is finished. What did I overlook? The dedication? Oh, it says, children, it says, dedicated to my beloved Clara. Lillian. The next one, children, will be dedicated to you. Yeah. You've been very patient, yeah. Now it's your turn with Papa. Robert, they've been waiting for you all day. Yeah, go with Papa. Oh, Johannes, this is so beautiful. But to play it well, I need time. I know. This will be played 100, 200 years from now, long after we're gone. I keep forgetting. My work lives only until the last note dies away. It's Robert's art that will endure. Oh, so loud. It must be truly. What, Robert? Yeah, she plays with great strength. Clara's ambivalence was short-lived because Robert died just 3 years later in a mental institution. But as she toured the concert halls of Europe, she always included some of Robert's compositions, interpreting them so exquisitely that she won for him a universal acclaim. The Schumanns, in spite of everything, they worked, they loved. About the same time that Freud was uttering his Leben und Arbeiten, a young Russian immigrant named Emma Goldman was saying much the same thing, but in quite a different way. She was a woman of many facets. Do you know she actually helped popularize the arts here in America? But basically, she was an agitator. She agitated for free love, for birth control, for labor unions, and from the time she was very young, she was an avowed anarchist. In fact, in 1892, she was still in her 20s. She and her young lover, Alexander Berkman, called Sasha, were plotting to assassinate Henry Frick, head of the Carnegie Steel Company. Frick had opposed a steel strike with violence. 10 workers were killed. For the past few nights, Emma and Sasha have been staying here in this modest flat on the Lower East Side of New York. It belongs to Emma's sister, Helena. It's July 1892, very late at night. Helena! Helena! Helena, wake up! I have to talk to you. You can sleep tomorrow. Come on. Of course it's important. You think I would wake you were it not important? Huh? Sasha. Oh, Sasha just left. For Pittsburgh. To take care of Frick. Finally. What don't you understand? You were here last night while we were talking. What did you think we were planning? Only to scare him. Phew. You think Frick can be scared? Helena, if justice will be done, Frick must pay for this crime. He alone is responsible for what happened. We were negotiating. But he cut off all conferences, hired 300 hooligans, ordered everybody back to work. No, when they wouldn't go, he told his hooligans, shoot. They killed 10 unarmed men. It was murder. That's why I'm an anarchist. Helena, this is tyranny. This is despotism. I did not wake you up to go over the whole Homestead tragedy. I'm looking for something to sell. We need money. Do you have any? Yeah. That $5 helped, but it's not enough. Oh, Helena, maybe you know someone we could ask. No, not tomorrow. Tonight. I must have the money tonight. Sasha needs a gun. How can he shoot a man without a gun? Also, he needs a new suit. It's ludicrous. Crazy. He has to get all dressed up in a new suit to go shoot somebody. But you saw how he looked tonight. You saw. Old pants, torn shirt, looking like that. He cannot get into Frick's office. How can he shoot Frick if he cannot even get into his office? I'm thinking, wait. With the gun and the suit and my fare to Pittsburgh, about maybe $45. You're no help at all. Go back to bed. Sell something. Why don't you sell something? In order to sell something, I have to have something to sell, no? I have nothing. Not so much as a pair of earrings. You know, I came here only with the clothes on my back, that's all. Helena! I just found something. To sell. My body. A perfectly good female body. Don't you be a fool. Sonia Marmeladov did it. Not that one. Mama's friend was Sonia Markovic. Don't you remember Crime and Punishment? Dostoevsky has Sonia turn to prostitution in order to support her family. Sasha may be giving his life. The least I can give is my body. Don't talk, Helena, I won't listen, my mind is made up, nah. What does one wear for such an activity? Like this, no one even will look at me, I don't know. Oh, how's this? Oh, Helena, I will bring it back. Of course it will be distasteful. Sasha needs me. I have to do whatever I can to help. Because I love him. Oh, Helena, I'm not selling love. You think love can be bought and sold? Only selling my body. Huh. Do you have a blouse? Cut low. Then don't. Oh, Helena, you know, you sound now just like Mama. So bourgeois. If you had married Sasha, this would not happen. What has marriage to do with love? Ah. Marriage is only an economic arrangement. An insurance pact makes a parasite of a woman that incapacitates her for love. Love. Love is the deepest and strongest element, most powerful molder of human destiny. 'Tis our destiny that will be sealed tonight. Oh, Helena, don't cry. Don't cry. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'm going to 14th Street. I'll be back in a few hours. With money. But she couldn't swing it. No, to each interested client, Emma Goldman said no. Finally, an elderly man took her to a saloon, bought her a beer, gave her $10 and told her to go home. She had no knack for the profession. But Sasha got a gun. He shot Frick. And although Frick recovered from his wounds, Sasha was imprisoned and deported, as was Emma. Imprisoned and deported for being an anarchist, a troublemaker. But she fulfilled Freud's dictum in her fashion. She worked passionately for what she loved. And those she loved passionately. By contrast, Colette, the little French girl from Burgundy, creator of Gigi, never dreamed of a career in writing or in anything else for that matter. She was a country girl. And yet, for some unaccountable reason, she was attracted to and married a sophisticated Parisian music critic twice her age. It's 1903, Paris. Since the noonday meal, Colette has been locked, literally locked into this small sitting room on the second floor of their modest house. Willie? Willie! The chapter is finished! Unlock the door! Don't you want to read it? At least answer me. Willie. Willie, my time is up. Oh, Willie. Willie, I need more paper. The exercise books, they're all used up. I have nothing on which to write. Hello. It's 5 o'clock. You locked me in here at 1. Now let me out. Willie? Willie, can't you hear me? Are you downstairs? Willie? Willie, don't do this to me. Answer me. Are you downstairs? Willie? Willie, 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 Willie! Damn him. I hate him when he does this to me. Oh, Kiki. Kiki, my own little pussycat. Thank God he lets me keep you. Why do I let him do this to me, Kiki? Why? Lock me up here every day. I write, and then he puts his name to my words, and they pay him my money. That is to meow about. So degrading, such deceit. I would die if anyone found out, especially Mama. What would she say, Kiki? If she knew no sooner was I married than deceived. Oh, Kiki, don't run away. I'm talking to you. I have no one else to talk to. Kiki? Oh, Kiki. Kiki, don't hide. Oh, Kiki. I used to hide. When I was small. Oh, I was so full of fear. At the first sign of a visitor, I would hide in the top branches of the tallest tree. I wish I were back in the woods with Mama to see the cool sky, rain in drops, snow in flakes, tameness of the birds. I wish that Willie would stop being Willie and love me. I want so much to be loved. Love. Kiki, love is... love is... Love is impossible. Impossible. But look at you, Kiki. You two are locked up every hour of every day, and yet you stay with me. Because I feed you, eh? Because you belong to me. Perhaps because you don't know how other cats can live. Willie? Willie, let me read you what I've written. You'll be pleased. I think I'm writing very well these days. Oh, Willie, Willie, there's a new kind of spice in today's chapter. I did exactly what you asked I did. But I did not want to. I want to say everything which delights and hurts and astonishes me by the light of my own truth. Willie, you believe in nothing, eh? Not even in truth. It all started so innocently. He said, just write down what you remember of your school days. And I did. And then he said, put in some spicy bits. Money is short, maybe I can make something of it. Whoever would have thought my little scribblings would meet with such success, he would then lock me up to write a second book. Dreadful sound of the key turning in the lock. 4 hours of imprisonment. I don't need to be locked up to write. A carriage stopped. Maybe someone. Willie? Willie, I thought, where have you been? So, he's been with her. And now he brings her here. Must I be party to all his deceptions my whole life? Be locked up? Hidden? Used? No more. I'm going to get out of this room, this house, and this marriage. But how? Where will I go? I'm afraid. Colette was so afraid she endured this marriage for 13 years before leaving, and then it took her years more to prove her authorship of those early books. And still Colette was able to say, "Peace be on the hand that turned the key." Because from those hours of forced labor were forged the discipline and the art that made her famous. She was the only woman in French history ever to be given a state funeral, although there were those who denied her greatness. Colette! She never wrote about war or politics or any large event. She only wrote about love. And that's because she searched until she found it in her third marriage. But Freud never said it was easy. Leben und Arbeiten. For the perfect combination, there were the Gilbreths, Lillian and Frank. By the time Lillian Gilbreth died at the age of 94, she was an internationally known engineer. She'd been a pioneer in management and motion study, finding ways to avoid waste motion in industry as well as at home. She taught at Purdue, Rutgers, Bryn Mawr, received numerous awards and degrees, became known to the general public as Mother in Cheaper by the Dozen, which was written by 2 of her 12 children. In 1944, Mrs. Gilbreth was honored by the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. She's still in the house dressing for the festivities, and she calls to her youngest daughter, Jane. Jane, you won't believe this. The corsage they sent. I don't know whether to wear it or to plant it. That's right, they did. Yes, well, they called to ask what color dress I was going to wear. They should have asked what size. No, dear. No, dear, don't bother. I'll be out in just a minute. I just have to put on my hat. Well, actually, not for about half an hour. No, I still need a few more minutes with my speech. Roger's driving? Good. I really don't know that young man of yours very well, and I must say I'm certainly looking forward.
Oh, say, Jane, I've been meaning to ask you. Like a waterfall. What I want to know, dear, is if you and Roger finally gotten around to setting a date. Why? Doesn't like the idea of allowing his wife to work. Well, I thought... Already? Oh, heavens. Don't leave him downstairs alone. Go on, bring him up here to my office. No, I told you I've got to collate these papers. I made 2 carbons of my speech for the press. Never could understand this custom of acceptance speeches. If you're worthy, they ought to just give you the award and let you sit down. Well. Hello, Roger. I see Jane's drafted you into service tonight. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's nice of you to say, but don't forget my late husband is included in tonight's award, too. He was one of the first of the efficiency experts. Though he didn't care much for functions of this sort, he never denied their efficiency. Oh, he used to marvel at the ability to create an award and avoid paying for a speaker. Jane, since you're just sitting there, dear, would you mind clearing my desk? Just file those papers away. You know, Roger, efficiency means doing a thing the easiest way. Sometimes the easiest way is getting someone else to do it for you. Who, Mr. Gilbreth? Oh, no. No, he didn't. Roger. Roger, it wasn't like that at all. Jane, didn't you ever tell Roger how your father explained the partnership idea? Oh, of course you remember. I know I told it to you. I told it to all the children. Good Lord, could I have told it to one child 12 times? Roger, sit down. This'll just take a minute. Please. Well, but it's something I'd like for you to know. Please. Please sit down. Well, let's see. It was on the very day that we met.
Yes, just to make conversation, I asked Frank what he did. Well, he burst into his theory of laying bricks by a mathematical formula. Thought he was a bricklayer. Said he wanted to find the one very best way to do everything, and did I plan to get married? All in the same breath. Well, you know, in those days, a woman really had to make a choice between marriage and a career. What's that, Jane? Some women still have to make that choice? Well, yes, I suppose so, but I really don't see why. Anyway, I said, no, I was not planning to get married. I wanted to get my doctorate in comparative literature. Well, he took a long look at me, and then he said that maybe he could switch his field to literature. That was another one of his theories. He believed that the husband and wife should share one career as well as all the household responsibilities. And I said to myself, could this be a proposal? And then when he announced he wanted to have 6 boys and 6 girls, I wasn't sure I wanted it to be. Anyway, by the time he learned that I had my minor in psychology, I'd already decided to join him in his field. No, I didn't earn my doctorate in psychology until I was pregnant with our 7th child. Oh, the timing was Frank's idea. Well, he said a doctorate would be good for business. Obviously, he never saw my being pregnant as anything unusual. Oh, I see you heard about that. Having all 12 sets of tonsils removed at once. I'll never forget it. Only time the house was ever quiet. And you know, Jane, Father told the doctor when billing us to remember that everything should be cheaper by the dozen. He was an incredible person. Of course, I quote him in my speech tonight. Wouldn't be fair for me not to give him equal time. Well, let's see. Here. Frank always said, efficiency never meant the smallest, and the weakest has no place in responsible work life. You know, in our household, even the 3-year-old, whoever that might have been at the moment, always dusted the floor moldings and the chair rungs. Frank believed that each individual's capacities should be used to the fullest. He was so far ahead of his time. He even included women. You know, I never fully appreciated the scope of his vision till I had to get along without him. But he left me the best life insurance ever. A career. Jane, are you about finished? What's that, Roger? You understand now? What do you understand? Oh, that Jane can manage a career, as well as a household. But she can't. Not alone. Nobody can. Not even a man. Oh, that would be nice. Yes, do bring the car around. We'll be down in just a moment. Jane, what a nice young man. And so easily persuaded. Lillian Gilbreth was a perceptive human being. She perceived that Frank Gilbreth was perhaps the one man in a million with whom she could share the dictum, Lieben und Arbeiten. But Lillian's solution was not easy to emulate. Other outstanding women, in fact, one of the greatest women of this century, Golda Meir. Even Golda Meir couldn't do it. You see, as a small child in Russia, she was terrorized by anti-Semitic riots, pogroms. And the trauma of this terror was so intense that she latched on to the dream of a utopia for the Jews in what was then Palestine. And the dream persisted even after the family moved to Milwaukee. So when Golda married her Morris, she convinced him that despite its primitive conditions, Palestine was still the place for them to love and to work. It's 1928. Jerusalem. Golda and Morris and their 2 little children live here in this small flat, barely managing, when Golda is offered a job as secretary of the Women's Labor Council.
Morris, I'm home. As soon as I change. Did you eat? What about the children? Good. No, don't bother. I'll be out in just a minute. I'll clean up. The interview? Oh, it went very well. Well, I didn't say yes absolutely. I said I'd have to talk it over with you. How could I make up my mind and go back to work without first talking to you?
Very simply, it would mean we'd have to move back to Tel Aviv. Oh, Morris, the labor movement has good schools. The children... That's very unfair of you, Morris. You and the children have always been my chief concern. But if we'd stayed on the kibbutz, we wouldn't have these problems. The children would have been beautifully taken care of, and you and I could have been working there, building the land. But isn't that why we left? Because you couldn't stand it. But I loved everything about it. Working with my hands, the comradeship. All right, and the sand and the swamps, even the flies. When it finally became a garden, just to look at it gave me such joy. I could have spent the rest of my life there. We left. Aren't you going to finish your soup? Oh, Morris, I wasn't meant to be satisfied with music and poetry. It's not what I'm looking for. A stillness of spirit. I don't want to stay home and forget about politics. Morris, what is politics? What is politics if it's not the survival of everything we came here for? Don't you believe we have to earn the right to live in freedom? Don't you want to have a share in it? Then we have to participate in politics. Oh, this is not personal ambition. Look, Morris, all right, look. I know what I do will not bring the Messiah. But Morris, who knows? Who knows what another hand, another heart, another mind? Are you asking me to choose between you and working? And you're asking me to deny a part of myself. Why? I mean, why do I have to make this choice? Shazar, Levi Eshkol, Ben Gurion, Ben Zvi, do they have to make this choice? Can't I be as committed as they? To my land, my country. I'm not asking you to be any different. I love you the way you are. Why can't you accept me the way I am? Yes, I guess I have made up my mind. But Morris, I'll be a happier woman if I can satisfy that nudging inside me. Yeah, maybe then I'll stop nudging you. I don't know. I don't know if the children will understand. I hope they will. At least they won't wake up with nightmares from pogroms. I love you, Morris. I love you.
But this is something I have to do. Who knows about someday? I know there's a price to pay. Morris? Morris? Either way, there's a... That decision in 1928 actually marked the start of our separation.
If our roles had been reversed, we wouldn't have had these problems. I would have stayed home with the children, played music, read poetry. He would have flown all over the world like the Meshuggah. It's tragic, isn't it? That we couldn't find a way. As a woman, I think I had a double burden. Always the nagging burden of not being able to fulfill my obligations to my family or to my work. But that's part of the price. It all adds up. Pounds, wrinkles, bags, arthritis, phlebitis, migraines. I put on this weight when I was minister to Moscow. It was all those blintzes and sour cream. It was hard to say no. And these wrinkles I got from the British and their blockades. And the bags I got from the War of Independence. And these deep lines, this one I got from Egypt, the other I owe to Syria. But Israel's still here. I'm still here. Milwaukee's still here. In 1971, I was prime minister. I went back to Milwaukee and I visited the old neighborhood. It hadn't changed much in 50 years. When I lived here, it was all Jewish. Now it's all black. Look, there's the 4th Street School. It's held up better than I have. Shalom, shalom everybody, shalom, thank you. Thank you for inviting me back to the 4th Street School. Oh, and thank you for these beautiful posters, my goodness. Teachers, did they make these themselves? Just look at that, shalom, shalom, shalom. Wall to wall, shalom. No, dear. No, it's not my name. No, it's a Hebrew word meaning peace. But we use it also to say hello and goodbye. But it's not about book learning I want to talk to you today. I learned a lot more than fractions and spelling when I went to school here. You know, I too was born into a minority. And we were poor. And English was not my native tongue. I came from Russia. But what I want to say is, it really isn't important for you to decide now exactly what you want to be when you grow up. It's much more important that you decide now how you want to live your life. If you're going to be honest with yourselves, honest with your friends, if you're going to devote yourself to causes which are good, not just for you, but for other people too. Because what you'll be is only a matter of chance anyway. You know, when I went to school here, I thought I was going to be a teacher. Because I used to think, and I still do, that teaching is the noblest profession of all. You know why? Because a good teacher can open up the whole world for children.
Maybe that's what my teachers did for me when I was here. Because believe me, boys and girls, one of the things I never thought I'd be when I grew up was prime minister of a country that didn't even exist. Tell me. In your history books now, do you still have that famous picture of the signers of the Declaration of Independence? Huh? Do you know which one I mean? Yes, that's it. That's it. That's the one. Show everybody. That's the one. Would you believe I never thought those were real people? To me, those were just men dressed up in costumes. I never thought about that picture from, 1910 or 11 till 1948. Because on May 14th of that year, I signed the Proclamation of Independence for the State of Israel. And after I wrote my name and I put down the pen, you know what happened? I thought of that picture. And I cried. The little girl who used to sit right over there, had just signed a Declaration of Independence. Now, this great honor did not come easily. I paid a price. Everybody pays a price. But if you know what you believe in, and you work for it with all your heart, it should be worth the price. Thank you again for your hospitality. If ever you're in Israel, let me know. If it's at all possible, I'd be very happy to welcome anyone from the 4th Street School. Shalom, boys and girls. Shalom.